We just took over the RV garage, man. I mean, we got 4 rolls of underlayment, we got lights, vaults, 4 or 5 pallets of underlayment or liner. We got aqua blocks for days, vaults, extension cables. I mean, you name it. And they're like, Harley, you took over our garage. I said, well, this stuff's kind of pricey. I wanted to keep it safe, and they just laughed.
Holy cow! Look at all that liner. What is that?
Those are 40 by 100. So we're gonna seam the 100 and make 100 by 80.
40 by 100. There's 3 of them.
There is. Well, we got
one. You got a 40 by 100.
I got a 20 by 50, a 40 by 100. One of them is a 30 by 100.
That's a 30 by 100. Yeah, so you got 2 30 by 100.
We'll cut down for wetlands. 40 by 100. What was that? 40 by 100. 30 by 100. One of them is.
Who supplied you?
15 by 100. Columbia Water Gardens hooked us up with this order.
So wait a minute. Just so the viewers know. Not only do I get to come out here and help you build it, but I also got to help you spec it. 6 o'clock in the morning in New Mexico, and it's liner day. We've got 2 40 by 100 liners that we've got to seam in this pond, and one of the biggest questions that a lot of contractors, a lot of people that are new will ask is, how do we roll out a liner that big? How do we get it in place? So if you check this out, we've got this mark here, which is set 20 feet from water line, and then another mark down in the middle of the pond, that's the other 20 feet. So here's our 40 by 100, and here it is unrolled. So what I want you to see is this. This is the way it's folded, and you can take a look at that. Your typical folds on most liners, in fact 99.9%, unless it's like folded wrong, is going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 feet to the middle, right? There it is. And then of course another 20 feet to the outside. But if you look at this, if this is the way the liner is folded to the middle, and this is our outside edge, and it's going to unroll out, then what that means is that as we lift this liner with this tiny ass machine over here, we've got to lift it, unroll it along the orange marks to the one side, and then we'll be able to fold it back out to the other orange marks down at the bottom. So the big question now is how do we seam it? So obviously it's going to be really easy to seam it on the bottom of the pond. We're nice and flat. We've got boards as a backboard to be able to slide underneath there and get that seam done. But what about these edges here? How do we seam those? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take the liner and we're going to fold it back against itself after this seam has already been cut. And we're going to find the edge of this seam. We're going to fold it back and accordion flap it back over. And then this is a 10-foot depth, so 10 feet down, 20 feet in is about here, where we'll go ahead and flip the liner back and forward here and then seam the other side. Then we've got to pull this liner back up and over the side of the pond this way, and we've got to do the exact same process on this side. Okay, so we got half the liner down because it's 2 pieces that are being seamed together, 2 40 by 100s. So that was easy getting the first 40 by the first roll down. But now the second roll, in order to get it to the other side, I gotta drive out to the street, around the block, come up and over this ramp. This one is gonna be fun. Yeah, this is for Blue. Just tell him, hey, Blue.
My boy Blue.
So going up the side of a pond is not that difficult. Just going up a wall. You just have to know what you're doing. And it helps to have a board underneath, and it also helps to go in sections. So as you see,
Ladders, horse mats.
Yeah, ladders, horse mats. So as you see, we got a section right over here that goes from here down, because that's kind of a weird spot. And then from there we overlap and we continue going forward using double-sided seam tape, cover tape, all the way up.
Primer.
And if you find that you have some weird spots, like this seam here running across the bottom of the pond, does have a few weird spots in it that we've been working out. Let's see if I can find one. Right here. You see this spot right here where it's trying to pull away? Even though we keep pushing down on it, it keeps on wanting to lift and delaminate. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to use roof and flashing sealant. Let's see here.
The first plan was we were going to fold this all back down in the 40s.
So this is basically the same stuff as the silicone that we use on our biofalls. Loctite PL. It's a polyurethane roof and flashing, and this is completely fish safe. Some people will find it under S's and Sam 30. So we're going to take this in the caulking gun, and we're going to hit these spots here. And when we hit these spots, it'll fill up and overflow out. The sides, textbook. But there's going to be a few places like this, especially in the heat. I'm a little concerned about this spot here too, so you can see. So the seam is really underneath this with the double-sided seam tape. Cover tape is really an insurance policy, but when you're working with, I'm guessing 200,000 gallons of water, you ain't taking any chances. So this has to be textbook. It has to be perfect all the way through.
Hey, I'm getting
And so far we're doing pretty good. I hope this helps you. Oh, and by the way, Blue, I don't need to give you a montage of how to frickin' seam liner. There's so many videos that are out there. Go look at those. This is just to answer your question, as you've been harassing my man Harley Cowpy.
No harassment.
No harassment. Dude, you've been savage. In my opinion, I think you're savage. I'm gonna go drive up to Grants Pass and we're gonna have a talk. Okay, the end of day number 3, and liner is down, liner is seamed, and we've got rock pads on the bottom of the pond ready to go for rock placement first thing tomorrow morning. We've got about 15 to 20 30-inch boulders up on top of the hill over there. To give you an idea for scale, that tractor right there is about 27,000 pounds, so it's a big machine. And the idea is that we're gonna start with this course, and we're going to get our rocks around this bend over here, and then we'll transition and continue to get our bottom courses down over here, as well as getting that second course built up on this side here, because we can't build the wetlands on top until these courses here are done and we have access from the side to be able to reach over here. In the meantime, while we're doing that, we've got a 10-foot tall retaining wall that has to be built all the way along the side of this, and then we can go ahead and start finishing the rocking process going all the way around. So all the liner is tucked in nicely at the base of the pond. We got our rock pads down here. I've got a nice road that I'm standing on to be able to bring material in and out of the pond. We just basically have to build up a pile of wedges. That's not going to do it, but they'll do that first thing tomorrow morning. And we are ready to rock and roll. So 6 a.m. tomorrow morning in Aztec, New Mexico, we set the first boulder in the biggest pond that Copy Custom Landscaping has ever built. If you're new to my channel, Please give me a subscribe if you like this video. If you have any comments, please leave your comments down below. And as always, I'm Carl with Columbia Water Gardens, and I'm here to remind you that lining epic ponds really matters early in the morning, as early as you can get. Happy ponding.